What if a small act of kindness, something you did every day without thinking, was actually a test that could change your entire life? This is the story of Marcus, a 10-year-old boy. A boy who didn't know that his world was about to turn upside down. It all started on a regular Thursday morning. The sun was just coming up over the city. The street was quiet. Everything seemed normal. Everything felt safe. But it wasn't. Marcus woke up in a small apartment, just 2 rooms. His mother, Sarah, was already awake in the kitchen. She was looking at her phone. Her face was tired. Her hands were shaking a little. She didn't sleep much anymore. You see, Sarah was a single mother. She worked 2 jobs. Every morning, she left at 6 and didn't come back until late. She cleaned offices downtown. She also helped at a restaurant in the evenings. Her back always hurt. Her feet always hurt. But she kept going. She had to keep going. Because she had Marcus. Marcus loved his mom more than anything. In the world, he could see it in her eyes. The worry, the fear. He was too young to understand what it meant to struggle. But he could feel it. Children always feel these things that morning. Sarah made eggs and toast. She always made the same thing. It was all she could afford, but Marcus never complained. He never asked for more. He just ate what his mother gave him and said, "Thank you." He was a good boy. A really good boy. At 8 o'clock, Marcus got ready for school. He put on his uniform. It was a little old, but it was clean. His mother made sure it was always clean. "Have a good day, baby," his mother said. She kissed the top of his head. "You too, Mom," Marcus said. He didn't know it would be their last normal morning for a long, long time. At school, something exciting happened. Marcus's teacher, Mr. Davidson, stood in front of the class. He was holding a paper class. He said, "I have wonderful news. We are going on a field trip." The children all cheered. "We are going to the Science Museum." Mr. Davidson continued, "It will be next Friday, 3 days from now. You will see real dinosaurs. You will see space exhibits. You will see things you have never seen before." The children were jumping up and down. They were so happy. Marcus was happy, too. But there was something inside him. A quiet, worry field trips cost money. He knew his mother didn't have money for things like that. He had heard her on the phone with a bill collector. He had heard her voice crack. He had heard her say, "I don't know." And maybe next week over and over again, but maybe this time things would be different that afternoon. Marcus ran home. He was excited and nervous at the same time. His mother was already there. She had changed out of her work clothes. "She looked a little less tired today, Mom," Marcus said. "We're going on a field trip." Sarah smiled. "That's wonderful." "Honey, where are you going?" "The Science Museum," Marcus said. "Mr. Davidson said it's going to be amazing. He said we will see dinosaurs and space things." Sarah's smile faded a little. "How much does it cost?" she asked. $80, Marcus said, quietly, plus $10 for lunch, $90 in that moment. Marcus watched his mother's face change. He watched the light go out of her eyes. He watched her shoulders drop. "Oh," she said. Just one word, but it said everything. "Can I go, Mom?" Marcus asked, but he already knew the answer. Sarah walked to the window. She looked outside at nothing. Her hands were shaking again. "Baby," she said, "I need to tell you something." Marcus felt his heart beating fast. "I got another bill today," his mother continued. "The landlord wants more money. The electric company wants more money. Everything costs so much." She turned to face him. There were tears in her eyes now. "There is no money for a field trip. I'm so sorry. Marcus, I'm so..." so sorry." Marcus didn't say anything. He just sat down on the couch. His best friend Tommy was going. His friend Lisa was going. Everyone was going, but not him. "I had to tell Mr. Davidson," Sarah said. "I had to write a letter saying you cannot go. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry." The letter came home in Marcus's backpack. Red paper. His mother had to sign it, and when she did, Marcus could see her crying. She was crying because she couldn't give her son this one thing. This one small thing. That's the kind of pressure a single mother carries every single day. But what happened next, nobody could have predicted it. The morning of the field trip came. Marcus went to school like normal, but he didn't go to class with the other kids. He went to the library. Instead, his teacher, Mr. Davidson, felt terrible about it. But there was nothing he could do. The rules were the rules. Marcus sat in the library alone, watching his friends leave the school building, watching them get on the bus. Watching them drive away, he could see the bus through the window. He watched it disappear down the street. That's when something strange happened. An old man appeared at the library door. He was maybe 70 years old. His clothes were worn. His shoes were really old. He had a walking stick in. His eyes were very blue, very kind. "Excuse me," he said to Marcus. "Are you the boy who isn't going on the field trip?" Marcus was surprised. "Yes," he said. "How did you know?" The old man smiled. "I was waiting in the office," he said. "I heard the secretary talking to your teacher. She said a boy couldn't go because his mother doesn't have enough money." "Oh," Marcus said. He looked down at his feet. "What's your name, young man?" the old man asked. "Marcus," he said. "My name is Edmund." The old man said, "Can I sit down?" Marcus nodded. Edmund sat down next to Marcus. He didn't say anything for a moment. He just looked at his hands. "I was a poor boy too," Edmund said finally. "When I was your age, my father died. My mother had to work all the time. I missed a lot of things. Field trips, birthday parties, Christmas gifts. I remember sitting alone, watching other kids be happy. I remember thinking, why? Me? Why does my life have to be so hard?" Marcus felt something in his chest. This old man understood. "But you know what happened?" Edmund continued. "I learned to notice small kindnesses. I learned to see when people helped me. One time, a teacher gave me a sandwich when she thought I was hungry. One time, a neighbor gave my mother money without her knowing. One time, a stranger helped us when we had nowhere to go." He looked at Marcus. "Those small kindnesses," Edmund said, "they saved my life." "Really?" Marcus asked. "Really," Edmund said, "and now I'm old, and I spend my days trying to do the same thing for others. I try to give what I received." Edmund stood up slowly. He leaned on his walking stick. "Goodbye, Marcus," he said. "Be brave and be kind. Always be kind. That's the most important thing." And then he left. Marcus never saw him again. 2 hours later, Marcus's mother got a phone call from his school, Mrs. Johnson. The voice said, "This is Mr. Davidson from Marcus's school." "Is everything okay?" Sarah asked, worried. "Everything is better than okay," Mr. Davidson said. "Someone came to the school this morning, an old man. He gave me $900 in cash. He said it was for families who couldn't afford field trips. He said the money was to help children like your son." Sarah couldn't speak. "He paid for Marcus to go," Mr. Davidson said. "He also paid for 7 other children. Marcus can go on the trip. He's on the bus right now." Sarah's hands were shaking, but this time, her tears were happy tears. That afternoon, Marcus saw things he had only read about in books. He saw real dinosaurs, huge creatures that lived millions of years ago. He pressed his hands against the glass. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. He called his mother from the bus Mom. He said, his voice full of excitement. "I'm at the Science Museum. I'm really here." "I know, baby," his mother said. "I know. I'm so proud of you." That night, Marcus tried to find Edmund. He asked his teacher. He asked people at the school. Nobody knew who Edmund was. Nobody had seen him before. It was like he disappeared. Years went by. Marcus grew up. He became a teenager. Then a young man. He worked hard in school. He went to college. He got a good job. He never forgot about Edmund. But he also never found him until one day. When Marcus was 23 years old, something incredible happened. Marcus was at a coffee shop downtown, a busy place. Lots of people. He was reading a newspaper. The headline said something about an old man who died, Edmund Richardson. 70 years, old at the time of the school visit. Wait, that was the same age as his Edmund, and he had died 10 years later, just last week. Marcus kept reading. Edmund Richardson was a mysterious philanthropist. The article said, he spent his life helping poor families. He gave away millions of dollars to children who couldn't afford school trips, lunches, uniforms, and books. Nobody knows where he got his money. Nobody knows why he did it. But his impact was incredible. The article included a picture. It was him. Marcus felt his heart stop. The article continued. It said Edmund had been rich when he was young. His family had lost everything. He became poor for 20 years. He suffered like Marcus was suffering. But then he started a business, he made money, and he decided to never keep it for himself. I spent 20 years being poor. Edmund was quoted in an old interview. I spent the next 50 years helping others get out of poverty. Every time I give, I remember the kindness that saved me. I remember what one person's mercy did for me. The article ended with this sentence. When Edmund Richardson died, his lawyers found a list. It had over 5,000 names on it, children and families he had helped. But there was something strange. On the list, next to each name, he had written one thing. Marcus turned the page, his hand shaking. Next to each name, Edmund had written the words, kindness received, kindness given. Marcus couldn't breathe. He realized something in that moment. Edmund wasn't just helping children because it was the right thing to do. He was teaching them something. He was showing them what kindness looks like. He was planting seeds that would grow for the rest of their lives, and maybe Edmund had done this on purpose with Marcus that same day. Marcus did something he had never done before. He went to the restaurant where his mother used to work. His mother had retired. Now she was doing better, much better. But she still remembered those hard days. Marcus gave her a check. What is this? His mother asked. It's for all the times you couldn't give me things. Marcus said, it's for every dinner you skipped so I could eat. It's for every worry you carried so I wouldn't have to. It's for you. Mom, it's my turn now. His mother cried, but that wasn't the end of Marcus's story. Marcus started his own foundation. He took all his money and he used it to help children like him. Children with single mothers. Children who were hungry. Children who couldn't afford to go on school trips. He named it the Edmund Foundation. Years passed. Decades passed. Marcus became an old man himself. And one day, he was sitting in a coffee shop, just like Edmund had once walked into his school. A young boy sat near him, sad, lonely. Obviously struggling. Marcus smiled. He got up, and he sat next to the boy. What's your name, young man? He asked. The boy looked up. Surprise, David, the boy said. Well, David, Marcus said, I'm going to tell you a story about kindness, a story about how one small act of mercy can change everything. And Marcus told him the story of Edmund. He told him about the field trip. He told him about the stranger who appeared and disappeared like a ghost. He told him about learning that kindness is never wasted. Kindness always comes back, it always multiplies, it always grows. But here's the thing, Marcus said to David. Edmund didn't just give me money. He gave me a purpose. He showed me that this world is hard. but it's also full of love. And if you watch carefully, if you stay kind, you might see that love everywhere. David cried that day. Not sad tears. Happy tears because he understood. He understood that he wasn't alone, that somebody cared, that his life mattered. 3 weeks later, David went to his school. He started a club for kids, without money, kids who felt left out, and he helped them, just like Marcus helped. Him and the circle continued because that's what kindness does, that's what happens. When one person decides to care, that's what happens when you pass on what you received. So here's the question, that small act of kindness we talked about at the beginning, that thing you do every day without thinking. What if it's not small at all? What if it's actually the most important thing in the world? What if somewhere right now, a child is watching you, watching how you treat people, watching how you show up for others, watching how you choose kindness when you could choose anything else? What if that child becomes a teenager who remembers your face? A teenager who remembers that you cared. A teenager who decides if that person can be kind in a cruel world, so can I, and then that teenager grows up, and they help someone, and that person helps someone else. And suddenly, your small act of kindness has rippled out into the world in ways you will never see, ways you will never know about. But they happened because you were kind, because you chose love, because you decided that somebody else's struggle mattered more than your comfort. That's the real story here. That's the truth that will change your life, not the field trip, not the money, but the kindness that says to another human, being you matter. Your life matters. I see you. I'm going to help. That's why this story is real. That's why it matters. Because right now, somewhere, there's an Edmund waiting to help a Marcus, and a Marcus who will one day become an Edmund, and a chain of kindness that never breaks. So the real question isn't what if a small act of kindness changed your life. The real question is, will you be the one to pass it on? Will you be the Edmund for someone else? Because that's the test. That's always been the test. And the answer is waiting for you to decide.